You know, that plan to end the session this Friday may look kind of like a pipe dream at this point, but that hasn't stopped a few bills from being flushed already today. House Bill 339, which would send an advisory question to Idaho voters in 2024 about whether they support or oppose sending public money to private or religious or for-profit K through 12 schools. That failed in the House after a lengthy debate, 27-43. House Bill 137, the one that would take away the option of an affidavit, signing an affidavit instead of showing your identification at the polls, that also failed on the House floor, 33-36. But as we're nearing the end of this legislative session, they're trying to slam as much as they can through, so we're going to try to slam through, well, the rest of what they went through today. So two things that did pass, the higher ed budget and Senate Joint Resolution 101, which is the one that would amend the Constitution to say an initiative petition needs to be signed by 6% of legal voters at the last general election in each legislative district. But there's a catch to this one, because Reclaim Idaho is claiming there's a problem with the Senate Joint Resolution, which would have Idaho voters decide if they want to make getting an initiative on the ballot more difficult. SJR 101 was proposed back in 2021 when lawmakers wanted to require signatures be gathered from all legislative districts instead of the current 18. The state Supreme Court said that was unconstitutional. They ruled the legislature voting to change the rules was wrong. But if the people of Idaho vote to change the Constitution, well, then that would be okay. So this session, Republican Senator Doug Akunowitz, of Hayden, proposed doing just that. He brought forth a one-page and change joint resolution which would put the question to registered voters. And that's where Reclaim Idaho says looks to be a problem. Would the new rule, the new amendment to Section 1, Article 3 of the Idaho Constitution require signatures based on registered voters, or would it be based on the number of people who voted in a general election? Senator Akunowitz explained it this way back in February 1st in the Senate State Affairs Committee.
We had roughly 600,000 people vote in the last election, so the 6% is based off of that. That amounts to just over 1,000 people per legislative district, so it's hardly an insurmountable number.
So that resolution passed the committee with some amendments to it, and eventually it passed the Senate weeks later by a vote of 27-8. When it went over to the House side on March 9th, Senator Akunowitz said this in the House State Affairs Committee.
55,000 is not the number of people who vote in a district. So if turnout is 30% or something to that effect, you're talking about 6% of that number. It's a pretty low number. It's probably less than the one I quoted you as far as the number of signatures you'd be required to gather.
Okay, so you can hear him clearly say the required signatures to get an initiative on the ballot would be 6% of those who actually voted in the election. But the text of the resolution, according to Reclaim Idaho, isn't so clear. They say Section 1, Part 4 says legal voters. Before any initiative can be put to a ballot or on a ballot, there must be signatures, quote, signatures of legal voters from each legislative district equal in number to at least 6% of the legal voters at the time of the last general election. So is it voters who voted in the last general election, or is it legal voters, registered voters that is, at the time of the last general election? Because that would change things a lot. 6% of 1 million registered voters, which is what Idaho has, would be 60,000 signatures needed across the state. 6% of those who actually voted, which is just under 600,000, well, that would only be 36,000 total signatures needed. We did reach out to Senator Akunowitz for clarification, but we have yet to hear back. He did say in committee it was reviewed by both the former and current attorneys general, and it seemed fine, according to them. This resolution, as you heard, now waiting to be debated in the House.